All righty.
Okay, so let's start. So, hey everyone, welcome to the Layer 5 website meeting. So here we discuss basically about the front end sides of every websites. So if you have any issue to discuss or PR to discuss or any design to discuss about any features, so please write your agenda items in the doc. I've already shared. I have shared it once again. So like first of all, we should start with like if anybody joining this call first time, so please feel free to introduce yourself to the community. If I see anyone. I don't see any newcomers joining to this call. If someone is joining first time, they can go self and just introduce himself. Or we can start up the meeting.
Nice. Yeah. Sometimes it's sometimes it takes a little bit to break the ice, especially on a Monday morning. Dear Lord. It's like 7 a.m. Can barely count that high. Anyway, there might be some new folks on the call, some folks that haven't gotten a chance to say hi before. So if you're on the call, you haven't introduced yourself, well, it's a great time to do so. Take a moment, tell everybody about why you're here, where you're calling in from, how amazing these jokes are.
I can see Destiny. They comment Destiny, if I'm not pronouncing it wrong, you joined first time.
Trying to get my EA ports so I can hear everyone clearly. Okay.
Oh, sorry. Like if you want to introduce yourself,
All right. So my name is Destiny. I'm a product designer, UI UX, and I basically got onboarded last week. And recently, I developed interest in, contributing to open source, and I was recommended to check out Layer 5. You guys have an amazing project going on. And so, yeah, one of the ways I have to jump on, website meetings and become more updated. And that's why I'm here. It's such a vast project. You guys are doing like a whole lot. And I'm just trying to get updated and get, onboarded as fast as I can so I can contribute meaningfully. So thank you so much, guys.
Destiny. Oh, that's great. Man, is it just me or is there? Oh, no. Okay. I thought there was an echo, but so Destiny's here. Wonderful. I wonder if Rex is on. Yeah, he is. Anyway, it always leads me to wonder the way in which people describe like UX. A lot of times it gets conflated with UI, and then sometimes UX gets conflated with product design, but there's different there's practices within practices or adjacent practices, and so it's not always evident to me precisely what people mean because
yeah, I understand.
Well, actually, it's product design is generally like dealing with products specifically. You're going a step further than the same user experience. This is how the product is. I think the umbrella term for it is product design.
Yes, Rex, you are not.
So basically, I don't know if I can say something about that. Okay, so UI UX mostly covers around experience. So especially for UX concerns itself with experience, how a user sort of like experiences a product, whether it's a website, whether it's from a mobile device or, your watches, any smart TV, anything that the whole Internet of Things. So UX concerns itself with that experience. UI is focused on, interface design, trying to get like an interface set up for either a website, either, a smart TV, whatever thing that would have an interface with it. But for product design is sort of like at the meeting point, majorly focus itself with product. Now, when I say product, it could be a SaaS product, could be a fintech product, and when we're talking about product, we're looking at both business, you're looking at engineering, and you're looking at design. So it's like a melting pot of these three. So that's majorly for product. So most times product designers are people who have gotten like one or two products shipped. You get that's the best way to sort of differentiate things.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks for that, guys. Yeah. My remark should have been better placed. I think I was going to say, so I'm not confused on the difference. However, many people conflate the differences, and even to hear some people describe them, many people will describe them with overlap, or obviously there's overlap, but I mean, yeah, you'll hear different people describe them differently too. So anyway, that's great. That's good. Makes sense. Good. Did we
can
have
start? So we can start with the agent items, right?
Yeah, I keep on interrupting Shudanshu, but I gotta believe that we have at least one other newcomer on the call. Anybody else hadn't had a chance to say hi? Now's the time.
Yeah, Aryan
Hello,
Sharma.
sir.
Aryan
Hello.
Sharma, right?
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, sir.
Yes, Abhijit.
Hello, everyone. I'm also attending this meeting first time. Last meeting I attended newcomers meeting.
Yeah, very good. And then just a little bit about you, Abhijit, if you don't mind.
I'm Abhijit. I'm graduating this month, and I just explored Layer 5 just last week and started just exploring its repository and started contributing.
Nice. Awesome. Good. No more books, man. That's great.
I don't see anyone. If anyone is starting joining this call for the first time, feel free to interrupt me anything and then. Yes, Mohammed. You want to introduce yourself, Mohammed? I guess you are joining for the first. Yes. If there are any mic issues, you can always give intro to in your chat and introduce yourself. So I don't see any newcomers more, so we can start out. If there are pretty less agent items I'm seeing today, so like if anybody is working on any item issues or PR, please can write your agent items regarding the any websites. So first we have two items from Tanmay. Is Tanmay on the call? I don't think he is. Tanmay is not on the call. Okay. So we'll circle back to him if he joins in between. Next up item we have from Shiva, hovering built-in integration card text. Shiva is on the call. We have not Shiva also on the call. Paramjit. Next up we have from Paramjit, and I don't think so. He's also on the call. Yes.
We can take a look at with Tanmay's PR with the Citibank logo. Second one. Yeah.
Yes, I've seen this. Yes, right.
Yeah.
Yes, so it was like adding this logo of Citibank logo.
Yeah, since the people from Citibank has been collaborating with the Messi project, so yeah, we will be like adding this in the under the engagement and collaboration section. This was a small update.
So he has already added this.
Yeah.
Okay, rename the order of text and all. We can see this item also.
Yeah.
Change order of text and
Yeah. This is related to the responsiveness issue.
and point Karan, if you just see this one.
Yeah,
It
sure.
is- Yeah. So I think Shiva is also not in the call. We just go to his PR and see. It's also a CSS fix of overness.
Cool. And hey, Sudhanshu, I don't know if there's anything that you can do about it, but you're a little bit difficult to hear.
Oh.
I don't think it's just me.
Okay.
It might just be a volume thing. I'm not sure. But good. Yeah, on the city one, I think it'll end up having a hyperlink probably to the partners page, and there isn't a corresponding entry there. So not the best user experience, but we'll have to write up a small snippet about how they're engaged. So no problem. It's okay to merge in the meantime. Cool. On the next one.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's
So next up, we have something from Shiva. So he's also not in the call. He's like a CSS fix from him.
okay,
Built-in
let's skip it.
integration.
Yeah, let's skip it. If people don't show up, they just don't care.
I think Sagar is in the call, right?
Yeah,
Fix LMS format.
we can go to Sagar.
Yeah, yeah.
Sagar.
Sagar,
I'm
could you
sharing
show
the
it?
screen. Yeah. It's visible, right?
Yes, it is.
Did we charge his credit card just yet? Because until then, no, I can't see anything. Yeah, it's a measly $2, but it adds up.
So currently on the this LFX page, we have some formatting issue, right? Like this should be the heading for the whole section, and this should be the subheading of these 3 bullet points, like this two. So I just corrected that PR.
All righty, that was short and sweet. Just how I like them. Oh, geez. Hey, by the way, if we've got any better pictures of
Yes, sir.
other people.
So
Cool.
currently it's like this. There are bullet points in the headings. So I have changed that to this. Or do I need to change something else in that?
Looking good. This was the hierarchy issue. So just put it out.
That was a good fix, Sagar.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hey, so just as a rant, just since Sagar is asking, like, yeah, there are other things that can potentially be done on a page like that, where any number of people take on new jobs after they've done an internship here. sometimes that's with layer 5, sometimes that's with anywhere else. And there are more success stories than I can keep track of. And I know some of you are keeping track of them. I think one of you has maybe a task to put up a couple more references of where people have been successful and do go off and do even better things. Anyway, listing some of those on the LFX page, any of the pages is an enhancement that could be done. Just a random thought. By the way, we'll be opening up probably like about 7 more LFX internships, I think. This week, we'll probably get the descriptions in, which means if they open up in a month, maybe if you're here now, you might be ready for one. Usually it takes a couple of months or longer for people to get ready to be successful in one. But anyway, side note. So one of them we should open up, one or two of them we should open up with respect to UX probably. So anyway, I'm just filling in the space in between Sudhanshu's agenda items.
So I guess Yana is also not in the call. She has fixed something with routing issues. She's not in the call. So you can't skip the right away. So Karan, you have some agenda to discuss.
Yeah. Sudhanshu, could you just open the links? Thank you. Yep. So this is a small enhancement update that needs to be done in the design section of Meshmeet page. So right now the integration numbers are hard-coded and also outdated. So this should be replaced with the dynamically updated logic, the same that we have in the integration section of the homepage. So this is a good first issue. I haven't labeled it. It was meant to be like discussed in the website meeting first. So yep, it's a call for volunteers. So any one of you who wants to get started with the Layer 5 website, you can just signal now or in the GitHub comment.
Nice. So Karan, is there an example of how this has been implemented in other areas that people might reference?
Yep, I mentioned it in the issue description, like how we are doing the same logic in the integration section of the homepage. So we go down, right now the integration numbers are 230 plus. Scroll a little more. In the home. Okay, so this is also, yep, this one, 230 plus built-in integration.
I guess this is a GraphQL count from the GraphQL grid.
No, we are there's a logic in for the work that counts the data from the data.json file and just displays the number. It's a small logic that can be copy pasted in the design page too.
I just share the link, right? So like anybody want to take this up, ping now or can comment in the GitHub.
There's also another issue. Yeah. This one. This one's related to the responsiveness. So right now in the mobile view, the integration containers are right now are displaying in a line. So this needs to be changed. The honeycomb should be having multiple rows with the integration with the containers being adjacent to each other. To implement it, you need to shrink the size of the containers along with the margins, and this will be done. It's also a small fix. So anyone of you who like to take this up, you can signal now.
Hi Karan, can I work on this? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm ready to work on this.
Chandra, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Chandra, you can comment on the issue. or
Yes.
I'll do it.
So like if you
Okay.
comment this issue, we will get a like from the assignment section. Right now we could.
Yeah, I'll do.
Okay, I've given the. So there are one more issue. So if there's like anyone want to take this up, I've already shared the issue in the chat. So go and get yourself assigned. Next item we have from Abhijit. So type of X. So do we have Abhijit on the board?
Yeah,
No,
we have
please. Okay. Yeah.
Abhijit Gaurav, right?
So Abhijit, do you want to say what about your updates? Like
Hello.
yes, yes.
Yes. Actually, I was exploring the website, so I found some typo there. Can you click on the link? So I actually in the PR I just added the screenshots where there were typo present, so I just fixed that.
Thank you for the quick fix, Abhijit.
Welcome.
Great. Like some smaller English mistakes here. So next up we have Trevor Moria, favoring built-in integrations, card buttons. Yeah, like Trevor, do you want to share your updates?
Hello everyone. I am audible now.
Yeah.
I would like to share my screen. So can I share?
Yeah, of course.
So here the first is about this one. So dark update import catalog. So this was fixed, and Karan and Gaurav has suggested some changes, and it's fixed now. And the second is about the layer 5 one. So about this one, so I raised a issue on Mastery Docs. There is a image alignment issue, so I raised this issue now. And the last one is related to layer 5 buttons. So as we can see here, currently we have this button only. The rounded buttons are not implemented for mobile section, so we have to implement that according to Figma design. And also there is a issue I raised, so let me show you first. Is this our yeah, this one. So I raised this issue for a particular page, which is this one. Is there? So for this page, here it is. Yeah, here. So on clicking its color turns to the black, but this is around whole website. We can see that on clicking its color turns to black. So it's not consistent around the website. So we need to fix this, and for we make the rounded buttons for the mobile section.
So like
And
we have issues open for this, like which issues we are mentioning.
okay, thank you.
Regarding the implementation of new buttons, like first we should be like referring to the brand guide and what are the instructions given into it about how to use the color palette and the size and shapes of the buttons. Like with
Yes.
regarding to the like I'm not sure like we are using these shapes anywhere in the any of our websites right now. So
Okay.
this can be yeah, this will need to be discussed. Like if Ritik or Rex can like answer it better.
Oh,
Like we have issue open for this. Okay.
okay. Wait. Okay.
Did you like raise an issue for this right now?
Oh, I read issue for a particular page.
No, regarding the button implementation.
No. I just discussed with Rex, and he also
Okay,
said
fine.
that to uh, ask in the meeting
Yeah, sure.
to add this agenda
We'll,
in the
yeah,
meeting.
yeah, thanks for discussing. Like we'll provide you the correct answer for this. Like I'm not
No,
sure what
I
it,
didn't.
yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't
I'm
get
not sure
any
about the answer
update
right
on
now.
this.
So yeah, okay. So we'll like provide you the answer as soon as possible. Like I'm not sure about like we are implementing it or not.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we can discuss it in this slide.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, yeah, let's see if we can advance the conversation right now, which is, which is that I was alluding earlier to opening up some internships, and maybe one of those should be on a design system. There have been any number of attempts to create design systems, and there are a handful that are in various states. Some of them, the ones that are drafted, generally espouse or some fairly good practices. At least they help us. They attempt to provide us reference, and they help us be thoughtful about the different states in which people interact, the different moments of interaction across the various user interfaces. So Vayab was just talking about a couple of pieces of work that he had done, and one of them was in Meshri UI, or two of them were in Meshri UI. And so yeah, whether it's a web page or a rich application, either way, consideration has to be given to how we're being consistent with the interactions and with the experience. So for better or worse, one of the metrics or the guidelines to use when you're trying to determine whether or not a particular behavior is appropriate on a given site or in a given UI, is to look around at the rest of the very same interactions. So if it's a button, what are all the other buttons doing? How do they behave? It's hard to go wrong if you're reinforcing consistency. And so was this question in reference to a particular area of interaction, or was this just sort of a general question about the state of the design systems?
Okay, I guess
Yeah.
I guess he was asking about particular system, like in the
I was
one of
proposing a general announcement update.
one of the buttons was, I guess, overwritten by some other CSS on the website. So I guess Weibo thought about like it was not following the same flow of the color design. So I guess he had opened that issue regarding that.
Oh, cool. Okay. I don't know if it's my ADD or what, but what's the issue? Like, there's some CSS overriding some other CSS. All right, that sounds bad. We should probably move that. But so any specifics that can be answered, or?
Okay, so like I guess right now we just discuss about the inconsistency of CSS on buttons.
Oh, okay.
Not particular.
Yeah. Don't be shy with with pointing out where there are inconsistencies. There's a direct correlation to inconsistencies and a user's assessment of quality, or the sense that they have that it's a quality piece of software. So, yeah, very good.
We can either you can, I guess, if there is about particular inconsistency in the button. So I guess you can, whoever you can open an issue for that, we can discuss on that. I guess Tanmay is on the call, right? Is back. So we have discussed these items. And Vikram, you have added an agenda, so like want to discuss about call for volunteers about writing.
Yes, please. Can you please click the link? Actually, this is the consistency of the background color on the dark mode of layer 5 content registration form. To all the newcomers, we do have a writing program where we encourage you to write your blogs, share your experience, anything which is related to layer 5 for Meshery. So the content form in the dark mode, the background is white, which shouldn't be the case. It should be black as well. Possible fixes are to change the overlay color, overlay with the props dot background something. So if there is any volunteer, please, I would love to have you.
I guess it's not changing that much. I just share your this issue. So if you find someone multiple, ping in the Slack or here or any like GitHub. Next up, we have Karthik. Right, like Karthik, if you want to discuss this, your updates.
Yeah. This fix was based on the form of the in the community section in the registration form for new users. So in that rejection, so the main problem was the some of the names like which had an apostrophe or an tilde at the top, like one of the user faced in Slack. So that the form was not accepting in the input, as well as the multi-word names and the names with hyphens. So I just fixed the rejects of like the pattern of the. That's all.
So like, is this the regex universally follow or something like you have implemented?
Sorry?
Like we have a regex like for the if you universally follow across forms, right? So like this regex which you have implemented for first name and last name, that looks good. Like this is like what you have implemented, or you have taken inspiration from other forms we have in the.
Yeah, I've tried it like in my previous projects and taken inspiration from Stack Overflow answers and.
Nice. Yep. Hey, Karthik, a couple of follow-up items there. So yeah, good. The regex does look relatively complete, and yeah, it's well, kind of odd to say, but I suppose confidence inspiring that the part of the regex that you have there is taken in review from Stack Overflow answers, which is confidence inspiring because it can be. Because any number of these special characters, the umlaut, well, like I don't even know if the there's an umlaut in there, right? Anyway, there's a few different special characters.
So this allows all the Unicode characters apart from like in the previous one, we were only like using only the specific characters were allowed, and this allows like any language. Any of the like, how do I put it?
Yeah. Good. And then are you propagating this change to the play.meshery.io website as well?
Yeah, sure. I'll do that and raise a PR by end of the day.
Nice. Yeah, good. I had asked you another question recently, and you probably have already answered it, but have you built Meshery UI just yet?
Yeah, I've built it.
Okay. How does it feel to you?
Like in what
It
sense?
could be,
How should I answer?
could be any sense, any.
So, first of all, like we going through the like components and all, I like the structure of the way the code is handled and all. So it's easy to navigate between components, and that's uh like a sure. I have no idea. I'll have to get more experience contributing to some of the issues like the one which you have mentioned with MUFI version 5 upgrade, and then I'll get to know more about the code base and all.
Okay. Fair enough. We for Kartik and for anyone else that's into React, it is time for Mesher UI to well, it's time for it to be rewritten, the entire thing. And it's as part of that rewrite is time for it to be upgraded from MUI v4 to v5. And the v4 to v5 upgrade doesn't have to be a large challenge. There's the one thing that we do need to make sure that we do is switch from the styling of the manner in which the components are styled. So to go to styled components in v5 and move away from make styles in v4. So Kartik, is that something that you're familiar with?
Yep. I've used both version 5 and 4 for like my projects, and I can like after doing some research on the docs and all, I think I can pick it up, and anyone if is willing to help with me, yeah, sure.
Okay. Yep, I'm really just looking for one person. The reason being is we've had projects before with, I don't know, 15 people collaborating on trying to upgrade Mesher UI, and it didn't really work out. In part because there were a number, like 12 of the 15 people didn't really know what they're doing. And so it just kind of ends up being garbage, which is mostly my opinion of Mesher UI. It's kind of garbage, not only the UX of it, but also the coding of it. And it's okay for me to say that since it's our baby, it's okay to call it ugly. It's pretty fugly. It's hard to call it cute. It's like, oh, your baby's so cute, I guess. It's not. It needs trashed. And one of the steps to that is to, either start completely fresh or upgrade the styling. So either way, our problem is we don't have UXers around here who know what the heck we're doing. And those that do, individuals that do know what we do, their UX skills are horrific, especially if they think that they're any good. They're really horrific. Usually if they don't think that they're any good, they're actually pretty decent. Anyway, it's a big challenge for us. And so I'm not quite sure what to do. There've been a lot of people, some of the people that are on this call who've been putting a lot of time into Mastery Clouds UI, and it's mostly well done, except for some people who won't stop fiddling with certain areas and get them done. But you know who you are. But it's a lot better written. And so maybe Meshery Cloud UI should take over Meshery UI, which would be somewhat sad, if only because there were no individuals here skilled enough to take on the challenge of rewriting Meshery UI. A rewrite is much, much easier than writing it from scratch.
Yes, same thing. Like from scratch, it would be much it would be difficult to like get those things in up and running in a time period or a time frame. Apart from rewriting it.
Anyway, it's something for people to think about, and can be something that gets chipped away at a little bit at a time with the styled component conversion. So, all right.
So next up we have from Kingsley. Kingsley, like you want to share update on the leader.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. So last week I gave an update on the layer 5 leaderboard. So there has been a lot of progress. As a matter of fact, I think I'm pretty much done with the task. But when I hosted it on Netlify to see if it can actually work on a production environment, so I was having this 304 error, which means I think it's an error that has to relate with course, either course or maybe either course or so what's going on is that it's not really fetching the data in the production environment, but in my development environment, it's fetching the data and everything is let me just quickly share my screen and then show what I have. Right. Can you see my screen now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So this is what I have for. Let me collapse this. Okay. Yeah. So this is what I have for the leaderboard. So all the informations have been rendered, the badges, and then you can also search for members. Let's say I want to search for Lee. I can see his information here. Then if I want to search for Gaurav, or maybe whatever, you can actually search for any member that is attached to the leaderboard. And then there's also a link where that can take you back to the discussion forum if you want to go back to the discussion forum. And of course, it's paginated. You can move to any section of the leaderboard that you want to from here. And then you may also decide to go to a specific page or maybe show the amount of information you want to render per time. So yeah. But the only challenge I have now is being able to render it on a production environment. That's having to generate a link where it can be viewed live. So I'm currently working on that, and I'm sure I'll really fix that before our next meeting. So, and then before we can start talking about the other, making it like a widget so that we'll be able to embed it into the different platforms and places where they are supposed to be. So that's basically the update from me. Thank you.
Nice. Yep. Hey, Kingsley, is this, when you do the search, does it search across all users or just the top 10?
It searches across all users,
Nice. And then the date range for the leaderboard is what?
You mean the what? The date range?
Yeah. Is it like the last 30 days?
Last 30 days, yes, I think. But I think I'm getting information from the the data that is being sent from the endpoints. So I didn't customize the parameters that much. I think I only had to add likes that's based on, let me see if I can open my console to show what this thing is, the params are. Okay, yeah, so it's the period of weekly, probably the last 1 week, I guess. And then the order should be based on likes received. So those are the two parameters I pass to the endpoint to be able to fetch this information that I rendered. And at the end of the day, I think it's rendering up to how many data? I think I have up to 49. Yeah, 49 data here. So per time.
Nice. Yeah. Great. Yeah. I wonder if the stats will be a bit higher if we do monthly. It'd be nice to see what that looks like. It'd also be nice to list the date range somewhere toward the top, or so that people are aware. And then because Josh, actually, it's kind of interesting. The guy in 10th place, if you go down a little bit, his name's Josh Patel.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. It's all zeros after 9. Yeah, and so that's another good reason to bump it up from weekly to monthly, because this week just started today, maybe, or yesterday or today, depends on. And so the stats look pathetic, or pretty pathetic, because it's 9 people have contributed. Oh, wow, how sad. We don't even round out a top 10. So yeah, monthly would be better, or even all year, and especially if there was a switcher for the date range. You don't have to
Okay.
do that, but let's get this put up somewhere. So is this checked into the repo for, there's a small separate repo just for this?
Okay, I've not, I was speaking with Casey concerning if we have to create a repo that is dedicated to the leaderboard inside of the layer 5, the whole layer 5 repository, or maybe your organization on GitHub. So,
Yeah.
but in order not to like waste a lot of time or maybe pass through the process of getting stuffs created and all that stuff. So I had to just mock up a particular repository. I think it's a private repo, sorry, a public repo, where I kind of did implementation. So, but it's something I can easily move to wherever I want to move it to.
Oh, nice. Yeah, great. I thought I had pointed out before that there is a couple of year old repo now for just this. This is, I think last time I mentioned I'd given up hope on this a long time ago, because despite it being relatively straightforward, people just have had a hard time comprehending it, except for you. So we should celebrate this. We should celebrate you, and let's get it published. Like you should do it. We should do at least that single enhancement of like moving to monthly and listing the date. Having said that, though, that doesn't stop us from putting it up. We've got space for this as a widget on discuss.layer5.io, in part because we just had to take down the Twitter feed based on changes that Twitter has made. And so there's definitely room for it. Almost it's too sophisticated to fit into just a widget, because ideally it would be probably a single metric, or maybe you'd break it out. You could take this good work, leave it as is. We can use this as is. It can be a dedicated page just to this. However, there could also potentially be, if it is presented as a widget, there could potentially be, 3 versions of this, or 4 versions, one for likes, one for visits, and just individual widgets. If you consider that this might be presented to people in about yay wide of an area, and maybe it's the total points that you end up showing as a single metric. However, perhaps having a hyperlink that explains how the total points are calculated and giving the specific stats for each user. Just random thoughts for things that you might face in the future. But for now, let's get it published. It doesn't really matter whether you check it into the layer5.io repo. There is a section in there for, what do you call it? For the discussion forum thing. So here's the layer5 repo. Someone may have to remind me. A source. Static. Did someone just say something?
Discuss board, I guess.
There's a discussion board. Yeah. So who's speaking? Shudanshu, you got to get is that you?
Yes.
Where's that microphone that you got that is like supposed to help us hear you? That's not it, is it?
It is. I am not audible right now.
Maybe it's
just
yeah. Okay. Anyway, I don't know. It's somewhere in here. I can't remember. If you guys have the link, please share it. Anyway, somewhere in here is the discussion forum info. Looking in chat just in case. Yeah. So there's a separate repo, this one called Discuss Board. Certainly that can be used. Sure. I don't know if if it's better for us to use that separate one or not. I'm not sure. Sure. If you don't, somewhere in here is the discussion forum. I don't know. We should know that this is written down somewhere. But yeah, let's get it published, Kingsley. Like just even in the state that it's in. So do you need where's your as soon as you get it pushed, we'll then try to publish it on the the discussion forum. We used to have 2 discussion forums, one the production one, and one kind of a staging one or a development one. It's just too expensive to run the development one, especially without people doing a ton of active development. And so in this case, others in the community will have to help you get it published, but that's okay. Well, good. So yeah, if for nothing else, this is a great place to go drop it. Cool.
Yeah.
Anybody else have feedback? Yeah. Anybody else have feedback? Anybody else?
All right. So I wanted to like get clarification. Yeah. I wanted to get clarification on. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, like anybody has more feedback on this? So we have covered the parts of layer 5.io. Now we can should move on docs. So like I don't think Parth is in the call, yes, I guess.
Sorry, Sudhanshu, sorry if I may.
Am
I'm
I
sorry, I'm
audible?
dragging. Someone just commented in the chat that we could possibly have a filter and then have monthly as the default. Then you can switch between monthly, weekly. That's for the leaderboard. I just thought I'd mentioned that. I think that's a good idea that we could work with, just in case Kingsley hears that, you could, maybe take note.
Yeah. He has already mentioned that. Okay, Parth, if you want to share update on
Am I audible?
Yes, you are. Are you sharing the screen, Parth?
Yes. Is it visible?
Not currently. Yes, it is.
Okay. So I wrote 2 docs. One is on mesh tree design and another is on mesh tree system models, system model commands. Can you see it?
Yeah, what was the ask in this documentation?
It was asked for that wrote the system model commands in Mastery CTL, and another is written for wrote about Mastery design, how it helps to what is called that deploy, how it helps in deploying service meshes effectively. So there are 4 issues. So I and Yana, both of us working on it. So so we each take 2 of the docs. So we wrote on it.
Yeah, thanks for working on this part. Like, where did you get the reference for writing these?
For Mastery system model design, I go to that terminal terminal, and from there I took Mastery CTL help. So from there I go deeper into the commands, arguments, flags inside that. And for Mastery design, I set up Mastery in my computer, then I go inside design, then I read about it, and with some online resources I figured out what it does and why it is important or why it is beneficial to use designs. and how to use it.
Thanks. Like I'll give it a read. I haven't checked it out right now, but while looking at it, the first thing would be to like swap the like replace the images. Right now, like there's an we could see the like upper scroll the bar on the top of that. Like they should be like cropped images, and like you can use the playground for screenshot, not the Docker extension.
Okay,
Would be
okay.
better. Yeah, and
I
would you
think
like
Yana
to-
has got it covered in her docs.
so we have the issue was divided into 4 different sections. So this is related to like designer. So you can take
Yes.
reference from the resources like the layer 5 website designer page. Like we have documented some of it like text. You can like found the essence of it and rephrase it, some of the things, and there's some formatting changes needed, like these shouldn't be upper the what the heading shouldn't be like uppercase.
Okay.
And yeah, regarding the text, I'll like review it. And the second part of it was regarding the terminals, like the system model subcommand.
Yeah. So I go inside the terminal. There I wrote system mastery CTL for help. From there I pick up the codes and what they do and related to
Like, so this is already like documented in the reference section of mastery CTL. Like we don't need this. We just need to guide the user on how to use the system model subcommand in this particular section. Like include the what is the model subcommand do, what are its flag, and how a user can use it for design purposes. This is like all documented in the reference section, so this shouldn't be at this part. So like please update this one.
Okay. I want to ask, what should I do in system commands? Am I
System
audible?
model is the system model is a subcommand. You would need to like track what the command does, what are its flag, and how the user can use this command to like invoke the mesh map and design. These were the things that need to be documented.
Okay.
Yeah. This is related to the reference.
How they
This is-
use it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I wrote about how they use it for designs.
Okay, I'll comment on the issue. What
Okay.
needs to be done.
Thank you.
Yeah, but just a quick check, a quick confirmation, if I might. So Parth, thanks a bunch for the docs and the screenshots and the overall. This is good. Just like writing a piece of code, drafting a new doc. Like there's always there's always room for improvement. But if somebody doesn't do a first draft, well, then there's nothing to beat up and there's nothing to help push us forward. And so, yeah, I mean, take some of that feedback with a grain of salt that like somebody's got to make the first step. Otherwise we never get there. And so it's a lot easier for other people to come along and help improve upon something that has been drafted. So this is good. This particular page here, this is handwritten, right? Based on your experience with the CLI?
Yes.
Yeah, all right, very good. And then if you scroll down to the very bottom in the menu on the left-hand side, there is there's a reference section with Meshri CLI in there. And one of Karan's points, yeah, there we go, is that this reference section is this page and all of its subpages is almost all automatically documented, like this CLI is mostly self-documenting. There are some aspects of it that need a little bit of manual intervention. So whenever a new command like system model is added, there's a little bit of manual work needed. But then a fair bit of it is documented based on the Golang that has been written and the comments that are inside the Golang. So if you were to look, so what we want to do is identify the delta between your experiences that you hand wrote and the information that's in there, and try to parlay that with the automatically documented reference. It's not always obvious to a lot of folks, but there's can be a healthy difference between reference like this auto-generated reference. So if you were to click on the start hyperlink right there, this information and each of these pages are well structured. They all have the same exact like synopsis, examples, usage, and whatever else it has on the page. And that's very helpful. And it's good. It's a great reference. It's consistent. You can see at the bottom, there's options. You can see at the top, there's a synopsis. In the middle, there's examples. Although, and it's a great reference, right? Because it's consistent, people can thumb through it fast or find what they need. They can use an index to go find the particular command. We can programmatically reference people, or rather hyperlink to a specific page. So if you're on the CLI and you're having trouble, and a lot of times it'll say, or see the documentation here at this hyperlink. And a hyperlink, because the pages are programmatically generated and published, we know what that hyperlink is going to be in advance, and it's a nice system in that regard. And so we're able to publish this reference. There's an issue though. It's not always understood by everybody that like there are multiple other facets, multiple other aspects to what an individual user might want to know about this CLI that isn't necessarily covered very well in a reference. It's things like if there's a particular task at hand. By the way, for all of us that were talking about UX before, it's not always readily evident, but a CLI is, well, it's a user experience, just like the UI is. It really is. CLIs are not necessarily, they're meant to be interacted with by humans, not by bash scripts, even though a lot of times they're treated as an API. They're not. It's just a lot easier to script around a text-based interface than it is a mouse-based interface, but still the two are designed for humans. And so my point is, if you're a human and you're trying to do something like start Meshri, which is what this command does, good, you can go to the reference. It might tell you what you need to know. If you're like me, and if you scroll to the bottom where the options are, Parth. Yeah, if you're sitting here and you're like, okay, so skip browser update. Or I'm sorry, skip browser. Okay, this is optional flag. I guess it's not a global flag because it's in this other top section. I guess because the bottom section says it's inherited from parent commands, whatever that means. I don't know, kind of big words but optional skip opening of Meshri UI. And based on the page formatting, you have to scroll to the right. If you try to, if you like highlight that and drag right, okay, skip opening of Meshri UI, which is misspelled. It's 2 words in browser. Skip opening of Meshri UI in browser. Okay, okay. What if I wanted to specify a particular browser, not just my default one, but a different one? Or what if I didn't have a browser installed? It was a headless system. Will it be okay? Or do I need to include this skip browser command. I don't know, like as a user, I'm not entirely sure. This reference is helpful, but really to understand it, I guess I just have to go try it because I'm not quite sure what it's going to do in this case. Well, that's an example of where other documentation is quite helpful. Other task-based documentation, like for someone to have taken their experience and written it up from that perspective to really explain some of the caveats, like it is okay if you have a headless environment. You don't have to specify this command, like to explain all of that. And the thing is to like explain it with some screenshots or a bit of video are things that that we generally don't find inside of the reference. So that's why there's a different section on the left-hand side in the menu over there. There's like a using Meshry CTL section, or there's a tasks section. So if you scroll to like the middle of that menu horizontally, so if you scroll down, tasks, there we go. There's like a tasks section. If to accomplish any one of these tasks, people might use Meshry CLI. Okay. Or the guides, like under guides, I think there's one called using Meshry CTL or troubleshooting with, if you go down a little bit. Anyway, point is, even if the docs are a bit duplicative, it's not necessarily unnecessary. Sometimes it's helpful, depends on the perspective from which things are presented. We do need a lot more guides about how it is to use Meshry CTL to accomplish specific tasks. One of the things that we have to be on guard about is documentation falling stale. So screenshots are wonderful, and they often are one of the first things to go stale because the UI generally changes. But that shouldn't stop us. So Parth, I've asked a couple of times recently in Slack, I think based on your work here, is for others to help clarify and make sure that we have in the contributor guide here, if you scroll to the top in your menu, there's a contributing guide on Meshry CLI. It should be sure to spell out what aspects of the CLI documentation are auto-generated and where no one should make any changes because their changes will be overwritten, and where the documentation is not, or where in there, like that you can actually add screenshots and they won't be overwritten. So that should be called out clearly here so that you can be cognizant of it and augment the existing docs. But yeah, but there's a couple of points that Karan had made about caution around duplicity and yeah, so you might want to split your, what do you call it, your PR into two updates potentially, because you've got one all about like Meshry designs and that's wonderful. And then this separate one on system model.
Yeah,
Good.
sure.
Okay. Yeah, sorry. There's kind of a lot to say, I suppose. So I apologize. I took us past time. Well, are there any other urgent items that we should speak to today? Did we miss anybody and something that they needed to get out there?
There was a call for volunteer in the Meshry website. Sudhanshu will just quickly go over. Yep, this one. Yeah, so this is an update that needs to be done in the website code base. So right now the code component for the copy to clipboard, one is being repetitive multiple times in the HTML site. So this needs to be moved to the include section, and we should be using the liquid templating here. So there's also a small update. If anyone of you is familiar with the Jekyll site, it should be an easy fix for you. So if any volunteers up for this task, you can signal now.
If anybody else can't signal now, So we are
Yeah, you can
over time.
you can assign it to me.
Okay, James.
Yeah.
Will you like comment in the issue? So you can go to your server side.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, maybe you can just give me the link to that.
Yeah, I wanted to share it in the chat.
Yeah, Sudhanshu has shared. James, please like comment on the issue and we will get you assigned. Also, I started working on the overlapping CSS issue right now. So, yep, there's a lot to do for that section. I have raised an open PR for this. Sudhanshu, could you please go to that also? Yeah. So this was a long due. the most of the CSS right now that is being unused is because of the importing of the third-party style sheets. So, and for the particular small portions of the icons or for the fonts, because of that the loading time gets increased. So I've been like removing the third-party style sheet wherever possible and implementing my own CSS for that. So, other than that, the issue was also regarding the JavaScript. So, the JavaScript 2 is being unused right now for certain sections. The scope of this PR would be to only like exclude the CSS right now, and after this we can like start working on the JavaScript CDNs, like moving them and using our own logics in the websites, which would like result in the better loading time and the SU performance. I'll be like concluding this one by this week, hopefully. Yeah, that was all.
Yeah, we are already over time, so we cover the next topics in the next meet. So till then, if you missed anything, you can watch the recording in the YouTube. And just do not forget to start the Ministry report if not yet. We are nearly at about 3,000. So yeah, so this was, thank you for all joining in the website meeting, and we'll meet you same time next week. Bye everyone.
Yeah, thanks for hosting, Sudhanshu. It's good.
Thanks, Sudhanshu. Bye.
See you guys. Bye. See you. Bye.